Mr. Pete, everyone's favorite YouTube shop teacher, recently uploaded a video devoted to quick wedge screw-holding screwdrivers. I was surprised that many viewers commented that they had never seen one before. I bet I've got some new subscribers that haven't seen my collection of various types of screw-holding screwdrivers. A lot of these were given to me, so the white tags help me keep track of which came from whom. I thought it might be interesting to do a sort of show and tell of the different designs in my collection. I've made cleanup videos of some of these designs that include company history and patent information. I'll include the links to those at the end of this video. These three are probably the oldest screw-holding screwdrivers I have. These two were made by Haynes Manufacturing out of Rochester, New York, and this one is a North Brothers. This one has a patent date of 1927. I believe this design came before that one, and this one is marked with a patent date of 1907. Each one of these has a different screw-holding design that has been carried forward into modern screw-holding screwdrivers. Let me show you how each one works. So this has a spring-loaded barrel and a cup on the end. So you take your screw and you line up your tip right in the slot, and then the screw is locked in that cup. And that screws in there tight. It's not coming out. This one is made out of formed sheet metal. It's got two like claws. It's also spring loaded, see? So again, you retract the screwdriver tip and you trap the head of the screw between the claws. Like that. Again, that's in there pretty tight. It's not going anywhere. This one's meant to be installed in the end of one of these drivers. There. On this one, the spring is exposed. So you can really see how it works. Strap between these two washers here, and there's the claws. Now this one I really got to wrestle to get the screw in place. You know, if I'm just not doing it right. There it goes. I think I got it. Yeah, it looks like it's in there. And again, once it's in there, I don't think it's coming off. Attached to the end of one of these things, you got yourself some reach too. Here's a modern version of the old Haynes design. Similar little cup at the end there. The improvement is now you can work it from up near the handle. Here, let me put a screw in it. So I can work it with my thumb. Put the screw in the cup. Get it lined into the slot. And again, that's super secure. I think this is made by French company. I don't know how to pronounce it. Facom. Looks like it's made for electrical work too. I didn't see a voltage. I don't think there's a voltage rating on it anywhere. It just looks like that's meant to be insulated. Let's try this one out. So this will work like a regular screwdriver. I figured the way to use it would be to unscrew the screw a little bit so you have enough room to get this cup end underneath. So I'll deploy that. See? I'll slip that under. Now I got a hold of it. Now I can unscrew it the rest of the way with no fear of losing the screw. Now the screw's out. Now I guess to put it back in, you know, you have the screw attached and you can put it back in with no fear of dropping it. Run it in a ways and then release it, and now just uses a regular screwdriver to drive the screw home. This is the Haynes manufacturing 1927 patent. And these ones are made by Upson, and they call it the Hold-E-Z. You can see it has the same sort of sheet metal collar with the claws. Here's a smaller one, same idea. Works just like the other one, spring loaded. Here's a stubby screw holding screwdriver. Doesn't seem like the most practical thing in the world, but neat looking, huh? Let's give one of these a test drive. So I have the screw installed at the end of the Upson. It's on there secure. You can start the screw in the hole with no fear of dropping it. When I get it tightened down, it looks like if I just wiggle around a little bit. Isn't that neat how it spring retracts? It's pretty cool, huh? And then when it's up here, it kind of spring retracts into a pocket in the head, and then this will work just like a regular screwdriver. I don't really see how I can connect the screw holding mechanism remotely without reaching into the screw. I don't see how I can finagle it on there. It seems like I have to have my hand right up there with it, and then I can attach it. See? And then I can unscrew the screw. Seems like it wants to slip off a lot while you're unscrewing though. I'm not sure how confident I'd be of that working 100% of the time. But there, now the screw's out. Here's a few modern examples of the North Brothers 1907 patent. It's just a miniature version of that. This happens to be a Gamble's Artisan Chrome Vanadium. Similar, just a smaller screw size. And this one is really hard to read. Coast to Coast Stores. Master Craft? Yeah, Master Craft. And this one is one of the only Phillips head screw holding designs I have in my collection. That's a Wardmaster. Let's give this one a test drive. There's a close-up of the mechanism. Looks like there's a retaining ring in a groove on the round shaft, so you can't push this thing all the way off the screwdriver. And then when you're not using it, you can bring it back to there, or I guess you could hop that and bring it way back if you want. Just to use it like a regular screwdriver. I jump back over there. Okay. Let's try it. Push it forward. It's definitely on there secure. I have the screw installed in the screw holding mechanism. Yeah, it works good. Now as far as releasing the screw, once you have it in there, yeah, you just pull it off. It's not too bad. and then I can retract it and screw the screw in the rest of the way. Again, I don't immediately see how I could, from back from the handle, get this thing on a screw that's installed. Seems like I have to reach up close to get it on a screw to loosen it. And it holds the screw securely so you don't drop it as you take it away. I have 3 examples of another interesting screw holding design. This is the Millen Jiffy type. So it's got a flat screwdriver blade, and it's got this like flipper. Right? See this knurled knob right here? When I push that forward, did you see that flip up? Right? See how it works? So here's a flathead screw, and then you push forward on the knurled knob, and now it's locked. If you want to release it, you just pull back on the knurled knob. Let's try this one out. When the knurled knob is retracted back into this hook retainer here, this works like a regular screwdriver. Now it's getting pretty loose. I don't want the screw to fall, right? So now I push the knurled knob forward, right? And loosen the rest of the way. It's kind of tricky to do. I guess I get better at it with practice. Now, whoops, see? And now holding that knurled knob forward. Yeah. Easier said than done, Magdad. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holding that knurled knob. Oh, this is tricky. Come on. There. I got it. I'm not sure how securely I have it, but I have it. To install the screw, get it on the end, I push that knurled knob forward. Now it's on there secure. I can reach in and get the screw started. And then once I have it started, I can retract that knob and screw the rest of the way in. The little flipper is an interesting mechanism. Maybe I get better at it with practice, but I'm not feeling like that's the most secure design. Here's another interesting screw holding design. This one was made by Hunter. This shaft is a hollow tube, and it's spring-loaded. And through the clear handle, you can see there's sort of a spiral follower deal going on. So when this moves like that, see the tip? Okay, I'm going to move it. You see what happens? That center section twists. Let me show you dead on. Watch that center section. See it twist? And that's what's going to kind of cam lock the screw in place. Alright. Get it in the slot, and then if I push, right, that little cam lock has jammed itself in the slot of the screw, and that's on there good now. And then if I release the spring, it comes loose. Let's give this one a try. Alright, here's the Hunter with what I'm calling a cam lock design. Push forward to lock the screw in place. Then I can reach in, start the screw. It unlocked itself, and then once it unlocks itself, it can be used as a regular screwdriver. I can screw the screw the rest of the way in. And the same way, I could start unscrewing a screw, and then if I push down, I can engage that cam lock again and take out. The cam lock likes to pop out. I hope it doesn't pop out when this is loose. There, I got it. It worked, but that cam lock, I'm afraid it's going to pop loose at any time. But it did work. These two screw starters have a similar design to the Hunter. This one's marked New Britain, and I believe they hold the patent on what's going on the end here. This one's I believe this one's a Mac, yeah, Mac tool. So it's got that same, see that sort of cam in the middle there to lock the screw in place. So there's a groove here, right? And right now it's in the retracted position, see? Put a screw on and you pop it forward. That releases that cam and locks the screw in place. Let's try this one out. Alright, I have the screw locked in place on the screw starter. I can get it started in the hole without any problem. Now you can tell this isn't really meant to be a screwdriver. It doesn't have much of a handle. Right? But it definitely, and then it released it. Let's try taking the screw out. So I have the mechanism locked, retracted. I'm going to try to push on. There. Did you hear that? That locked it in. I'm going to spin it the rest of the way out. There. That worked well. Here's some examples of Mr. Pete's favorite, the quick wedge screwdriver. The older examples are marked quick wedge, Salt Lake City. This newer one is just marked quick wedge, no other markings. They come in all shapes and sizes and at least 3 colors. The way these work is pretty ingenious. There's a tube that rides on the screwdriver shaft. It's got a section of handle attached to it. The blade is actually 2 blades. When you move this tube, it pushes those 2 blades together. You see that? Let me show you what happens on the end. The 2 blades are cut on an angle like wedges, and when you move the tube forward, the 2 blades ride up on each other and increase the thickness, and that causes the locking action. You see that working? You can actually slide the tube all the way off. You see how it's two blades in one? Here you can see how they're, this might show up better, how they're cut on like a wedge. See that? See the wedging action? So to lock a screw on, put the blades in the slot of the screw and then push the tube forward, and now it's locked in place. You want to release the screw, pull the tube back, and it's released. Let's try this one out. This is Mr. Pete's favorite quick wedge. Use my thumb to lock it in place. That's on there. I can come in, tighten the screw, it's tightened all the way down. Now I can release the screw just by pulling the tube back. Now it's released. Now if I want to retrieve a screw, all I have to do is reach in, engage the slot, push the tube forward, there you go, screw secure. Quick wedge design works really well. Quick wedge must have licensed out their technology to other manufacturers over the years. For instance, this one's marked Blue Point, but that's almost the exact same handle as a quick wedge. This one's a Vaco. And this one has a sleeve on it, I guess for insulation for electrical use. And then this one is a Craftsman. It's marked Western Forge. Craftsman had a couple different screw holding designs through the years. Let me get some of those out to show you. I don't have one in my collection, but I remember my dad had a screw starter just like this that was marked Craftsman. I have a few of these quick wedge style marked Craftsman. Now I have a couple like this. This one's pretty interesting. Let me bring you in closer on this one. So this one has the spring-loaded jaw type design like the old North Brothers, except instead of a coil spring it has a band spring. But it's got the remote control feature where you can work the end from way back here like the quick wedge. See how I can make this move from way back here? I think that might be a good design advantage. Let's give this one a try. So I got the screw installed in the mechanism. It's in there very secure. When I get to about that point, I can reach down with my finger and release the mechanism and drive the screw all the way in. Now to get the screw out, I got the remote control fully retracted so it works like a regular screwdriver. I can start it out like that, then I can take my thumb, I can deploy the claws from all the way back at the handle, turn it back into a screw holding screwdriver, and then continue taking out the screw. Now it's secure and it won't fall out. That's actually a pretty good design. I guess everybody will have their own opinion about which screw holding design is best. These screw starters are very popular, and they have the advantage of having a very secure grip on the screw. However, they're not really meant to be a screwdriver. You can tell by the little handle they have. The quick wedge is a great design. I can see why Mr. Pete likes them so much. I like the way it has the remote control up by the handle. Offers a really secure grip on the screw, and you can use it for driving the screw in and also retracting the screw. The only real disadvantage I can see is I don't see how you could adapt this design to a Phillips head screw. I really like the design of this Craftsman. It's got the screw holding mechanism that goes back to the 1907 North Brothers patent with the spring and the claws, but it's also got the remote control up by the handle like the quick wedge. And this allows you to use it to fully tighten the screw and also fully loosen the screw. The other big advantage I see to the Craftsman design is that this remote control feature and the claw design could be easily adapted to work with Phillips head screws. Now this example doesn't have the remote control in the tube, but it has the claw design and the spring. So I bet it would be easy to make one like this, but with a Phillips tip. So the next time you're at a flea market or a yard sale, keep an eye out for screw-holding screwdrivers. The different designs are fun to collect, and they can be handy to have around the shop. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Stanley sold the clip and grip screw holding attachment. It'll convert any screwdriver into a screw holding screwdriver. And this set had 3/16, a quarter, and 5/16 diameter shafts. It looks like the artwork in the center there is insinuating that you could use these on a Phillips screwdriver. It says snaps onto round bar, holds screws securely. Looks like they got a design patent. That's pretty cool, huh? Does anybody remember Heckingers?